Okay, so I'm here to explain what happens when Saturn goes into the 8th house. So I'll start by explaining what is the 8th house. The 8th house can represent sex, death, the occult, astrology, taboo, underground, hidden knowledge. The 8th house can represent secrets. It can represent your spouse and his family. It can represent the wealth of that, the wealth of your spouse, your ability to gain things from other people. Also, maybe. That's short and simple what the 8th house is. But the reason that the 8th house represents sex, death, the occult, and astrology, because all those things are things that are sort of hidden, things that are not above the surface, they're below the surface. Sex is something that's not really, or something that was really hidden, until modern times with technology. But Playboy magazine era and stuff, we just had DVDs. You couldn't really see sex on the television. Sex was something that was really hidden. You would have to go experience it yourself, or really go digging to go see that type of stuff. It wasn't really all flamboyant and out in the open like it is nowadays in the world. Death is tied to this house because you gain things from death, like money and cars. You inherit things like from wills and a death. What else with the 8th house? The 8th house, like I said, represents astrology, tarot, mysticism, witchcraft, all that good stuff. Because those are things that you don't really learn in school. You got to go find that stuff and learn it on your own. Those are things, and the 8th house can represent just things you keep from your family. Because think about it. You're not going to really tell your family that you're having sex, especially if you're young. You're not going to probably want to talk about death with your family. You don't want to talk about death in the family. You're not going to want to tell your family, this nice religious family, whatever, 9 times out of 10, that you're into astrology or you're into tarot and mysticism, because they might kick you out. They might disown you or whatever. You might meet a whole lot of criticism. So you keep a lot of things hidden. You might keep your relationship or marriage hidden. Those are the type of things that can be hidden, and those are the type of things that's naturally associated with the 8th house. And now I'm going to go and talk about Saturn. Saturn represents karma or death, debt, disease. It likes to put order and structure to whatever sign and house that it goes into. Saturn's one of the 2 planets that can represent the relationship you have with your father. Sun and Saturn, they represent that. They show that. Another thing with Saturn is that it's considered to be a natural significator of this house. What does that mean? In Vedic sidereal astrology, is considered to be a karka of this house. That karka means significator, a representative, a flagship of this house. So what happens when you put Saturn here? When you put Saturn here, like this is a good place for Saturn. One of the things that it will do is that it will delay and prolong death. Because Saturn is a slow moving planet, so it prolongs things, delays things, give longevity and stuff. So here, a person might live a long life, or a person here, the amount of near-death experiences that they might encounter will not be that many. It'll be less. It'll be lessened. It won't be that great. The number of incidents that they might experience that might accumulate and might equal death, they might not have it. They might get into a car accident that should have been fatal, but they might survive. Well, they'll likely survive. They might get robbed, the guy pull the trigger and the gun gets jammed, and they get away or whatever. These are just crazy examples, but these are some of the things that's associated with this house. And because Saturn is considered to be a natural significator of this house, it sort of protects the house that it represents naturally, especially if it's sitting in there. Someone here would be very great at astrology and mysticism and all that great stuff, because here, Saturn is a significator of the 10th house. It's a significator of career. So here, a person could, really be great at wanting to learn and pursue astrology and mysticism, and they would take it seriously, and they'd just be very great at it. Saturn loves routine, and they would be very rigid and have a nice little regimen and seriousness and diligence when it comes to wanting to learn about astrology and wanting to learn about mysticism and tarot. You know, because Saturn represents older people. So it's an older, mature sign. And it would be very mature and serious about going about learning the things in relation to the 8th house. Saturn's also associated with black magic in some old astrological books and terminologies. Saturn is associated with just black magic, witchcraft, and all that stuff. So you could just really see a great mysticism, a great mystical witchcraft person in with this placement. Another thing you will see with Saturn here is that this person will be probably very in control of the finances of their spouse, of their marriage, of their boyfriend, of their relationship, whatever. They would be very in control in managing and handling the money, the finances, and whatnot. These people, they would probably have deep philosophical, profound, obscured, unusual, and just deep views on things in relation to the 8th house, which means death and secretive things of the world. They would just have a unique view and interest in just all the deep secret underground things of the world. They'll be probably into conspiracy theories and stuff like aliens, the Illuminati, political stuff, scandals. They'll be all into learning those secretive things. And that is just about it for the main things that happen when an individual has Saturn in the 8th house. And thanks for looking at my video. See you next time.